welcome to yet another tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be making this beautiful dress. If this is what you're interested in learning, sit back and relax and watch.
Good day to you, whatever time you're watching. You're welcome to yet another tutorial. And in this tutorial we'll be making the gown that was shown earlier. So to start with, I'll first start with the front pattern, and I'll be cutting out the fourth pattern on paper because it's padded. So I'll first take my sleeve, my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 13 divided by 2, that gives me 6.5. Well, I'll be using 6.5. I'll be using 7 inches because I need ½ inch to join my shoulder. So yeah, I have 7 inches. Then I'll come to my neck width, which is 3 inches. Then I'll come down from my shoulders to measure my shoulder slope. I'll come down by 1 inch. That's my shoulder slope. Then I'll draw a slant like this. Then I'll come down from this shoulder slope by 8 inches. That's my armhole length. So my armhole length is 8 inches. I'll come down by 8 inches to take my armhole length measurement. Let me just use my ruler. So here is 8 inches. Then I'll draw my cuff. Okay, so I'll come back to this armhole and divide it into 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so half of the armhole is 4. So from here I'll go in by ½ an inch. So from ½ an inch, yeah, I'll join it to the shoulder at the top, I'll use a straight line to join that. Then I will draw a curve. I'm supposed to use my armhole curve, but I can't find my armhole curve, so these two can work. There, good. So I have my bodies. Then my half length measurement is 15. I'm going to measure 15 from my shoulder. 15 here. So I'll just draw a straight line. I'll also measure my bust point, which is 10. My bust point is 10 inches and my under bust is 13 inches. So I'm going to draw a straight line also. Now at this point, I'm going to measure my bust to points. Bust to bust point is 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So I'm going to measure 4 as my dart line. Let's use 4 as my dart line here. Okay, then I can draw a straight line up for my dart line. Now I'll go ahead and mark out my yoke. I want my yoke to be about 6 inches. So from here I'll mark 6 inches. So this is going to serve as my yoke. At this point, if you want a sweetheart neck, you can just come down by 1 inch here and then just make a cuff to this. Then you have your sweetheart neck. But the style we are making is not a sweetheart neck, it's just a straight line. So I'm going to be making use of the straight line. Now I'll come to my half length. I'm going to take in 1 inch in, 1 inch out. I'll come to my under bust too. I'll take 1 inch in, 1 inch out. Then I'll come to my bust point. I'm going to go up by ½ inch, then come down by ½ inch. Now let me join this line. Then I'll use a cuff to connect this to the bust line. Okay, like this. And like this. Now I'm going to come to my yoke here. I'm supposed to draw this line to this part. So I'll come in by 1.5 inch. Then this is going to be half an inch. Then I'll connect it with a curve, not too coffee. That's why I'm using this sharp part of the curve roller. Then I'll also connect this. So after connecting this, I'm going to measure whatever I have here, because I'm going to cut this out, so I have to return it back. So whatever I have here, I'll add it back to this part. So let me measure. I have 2 inches here, so I'm going to add the 2 inches to this point here. Then this is my 2 inches. So with that 2 inches, I can now form my new armhole. So I'm going to use the 2 inches to form a new armhole now. So this is not going to be our armhole again. This is now our new armhole. So we're almost done. Now I will just cut my bust measurement is 36 divided by 4. That's 9 inches. So I'll measure out 9 inches. There's my bust. Then 2 inches for my sewing allowance. I'll do the same thing for, because we are not cutting out anything here. That's why I'm not adding anything here. But I'll go back to my waist. My waist measurement is 32 divided by 4. That's 8 inches. So I'm going to measure out 8 inches. Then I'll add my 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Then these 2 inches I'm cutting out, I have to add it back. So add it back to this part. So now I'll draw a straight line to the armhole. There. We are good to go. Okay, then my neck line, I want my neck depth to just be 4 inches. Or 3.5 is okay. 3.5 is okay because it's so. I'm good to go. Now I'll cut this out. Okay, this one is going out. So these are the 3 patterns we are having for the front, the side, the center, and then the yoke. So now we move on to the back pattern. Alright guys, so we'll be drafting the back pattern right now. To draft out the back pattern, I've already ruled out 1 inch here. That's going to be my zipper allowance. Then now I'm going to take my back measurement, my shoulder measurement, which is 7. Now I explain this in the in the front part. So my neck width is 3 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch here to make my shoulder slope. So good. Then I'll come down from there to mark 8 inches for my armhole length. So this is my armhole length. Good. Now I'll cuff out my armhole. At this back, I'm not going to go in by anything. I'll just cuff out the armhole like this. So cuff it out to make this line. I'm going to use the same 6 for my yoke. Then my neck width is going to be 2 inches. So then I'll make a curve here. So after my band curve, then I want to use 6 inches as my yoke. So I'm going to make a straight line. You can decide to use any shape you want. You want it V, you want it sweeter, anything you want, but I want mine to be straight. So I'm going to measure my half length, which is 15 inches. And from the 15 inches, I'm going to draw a line. Okay, so I'm going to come for my dart line, which is 4 inches. So I'll mark 4 inches and make a straight line. Then my dart is going to be 1 inch, that is half inch out, half inch in. So I'm going to connect it to this line. Normally I measure 7 inches downwards, so I'm going to connect it to this point here, 7 inches from the top. As I'm going to connect my dart. Okay, so we can now put in our circumference measurement. My bust is 36 divided by 4, that's 9, plus 2 inches sewing allowance, that makes it 11. So you see that I'm taking my measurement from this drawn line, so 11 for my bust. My waist is 8 plus the 1 inch that makes it 9, plus 2 sewing allowance, 11 inches. So I'll take 11 inches here, then I'll connect. And I'll come back to this part so that my gown will not be bulky. I'm going to go in by half inch here. So I have half inch here, then I'm going to stop it at 8 inches here. So I'll draw a slant to join the 8 inches. So we are done. I'm going to cut this out. Alright, now to cut the skirt part, I'm going to be folding my fabric with the largest part of my body. My largest part is the hip. My hip is 42 while my waist is 32. So I will say hip divided by 4, which is 10.25. Then I'm going to add 2 inches sewing allowance, making 12.25. So my folding is going to be 12.25. So I folded almost 13 here. So with the 13 I'm good to go. Now I'll come to the edge. I would like to cut out this French edge first, because sometimes when you add it to your calculation it shows in your dress, which is not always too nice like that. Now I'm going to start my measurement from here. My waist is 8, my waist is 32 divided by 4, that's 8. So 8, I'll add 2 inch sewing allowance, that makes it 10. Then I'll put my half length here. My half length is 15, you know, the upper part that we first cut. Then I'll use it to take my full measurement. My hip length is 24, so this is 24. My nail length is 38. It's 40, actually 40, but I'll be using 38. I don't want it to be exactly on my nail, so it won't be disturbing me. Then my full gown length is 58. So I have 60 here. So the remaining 2 I'm going to turn it as my allowance. Now I'll come to my hip Remember my hip is 42. That's 10.5 plus 2.5, that's 12.5. So here I take 12.5 here. Then I go on to my hip length. I'm going to minus 1 inch from here for my hip length. I have 12.5 here, so I'm going to have 11.5 here. Then when I come down at the hem, I'm going to have 10.5. If you want it to be more pencil than this, you can use 9.5. Well, but 10.5 is okay by me, but I don't have a car, so I don't want to be having difficulty in entering bus. So now I'm going to connect this with my hip cuff. Yeah, like this. So try to make it not straight. Then supposed to have a straight line down. Okay, now I can cut out pattern. I'm just going to fold this. I'm going to use this to cut my back pattern, the front pattern on the back. This is the front pattern. I'll place it on the back like this. Let's see. Okay, you see, I'm placing it on the back like this, and you can see that the allowance I have here is small, so depending on the fabric available to you or how wide you want your slit to be. So I'll first cut out the remaining fabric now. So I have this. I'm going to measure how deep I want my slit to be. I want my slit to start from length 18. So I'm going to measure 18 from here. This is where my 18 is. Okay, let's make it 20. So that 20 is starting almost under my buttocks. You can see this is where my hip is. Then 20 almost under my buttocks. So depending on how long you want your slit to be, you can make your slit 20. You can make your slit, but since it's going to be a closed slit, I can decide to use 24 for my slit length. It's not going to be open, so I'm good to go. So from this 24, I'll shock it out here. You can see. So I shock out the 24. See, I'm stopping here. I'm not stopping exactly where the front slit is. So from this front slit, I'm going to measure my zipper allowance 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So this is my zipper allowance. Then for this part, instead of 1.5, I'm going to go in by half inch. I'm going to use 1 inch. I will not use 1.5 because I don't want the part to be bulky. So I will connect it to the 1.5 I have here. So good. Now I'll cut this out. I hope so. This is the slit part. I hope this is clear now. I'll go ahead and cut the lining to it. Before I cut the lining, let's cut the lace at the front. For the lace at the front, you can decide to use any shape. And I said sewing is hats, so whatever you're doing, it's not compulsory you copy exactly the style. Or so this is our front fabric, and I want the lace to stop at, let's say, 25 inches. Anywhere you want it to stop. So okay, let me use 26. This is as I'm going to place this. I'll first fold my fabric, the lace fabric, like this. Then I place this on it at 26. Okay, I want this edge to be at the bottom so that we enter the lining. This part is just folding and it's kind of keeping me problem. Okay. So just use it to cut. I want it to stop here. So you can stop here. At this point, the choice is yours. You can decide to just bring it down, so to go in this way, or you make it straight, or you take it up. Whatever you want is your choice. So here I would like to take my up. Okay. So this is going to sit on the fabric this way. Like this, you see. If you don't want it to be pointing up, you can just decide to cut it down, or you make it straight. Do whatever you want. You can even make it slant. It's your choice. So we are done with the lower part. Now we go on to the sleeve. My sleeve is, no, it has a full sleeve length, a long sleeve length. So this is what I have here. This is 9, so to be enough for my sleeve. And my total sleeve length is, okay, let me cut off this. Yes. So now the total sleeve length, my sleeve total sleeve length plus shoulder is 32, so I'm going to measure 29 because I'm still going to have a short flare at this end there, so I'm using 29. Okay, let me make it 30 because I'll be using half to join up and half to join the flare to it. So my wrist is 8, so I need 4 then 1.5 for sewing allowance. That's 5.5. So from there I can slant. Here is our sleeve. Okay, after cutting out my yoke, I have these tiny pieces left. because I'm trying to manage 1 yard for the whole thing. If you are using yours, just buy 1.5 yard. So what I'm going to do is I'll first fold into 2, then fold into 4, and then this my 4 is not equal. Fold into 4, and then fold into 8. So like this. Now I'll be cutting out the 2 pieces together. So I'm going to be measuring 5 all round like this. So I'm going to, then for the, I'm going to be using 1 inch all round. No, my round sleeve is 8 and divided by 4, so it should be 2, but I won't cut 2 exactly, because if I cut 2 now, it will be wider than the mouth. So I just cut wide 1 all round. So this is what I have. I think this is still okay. You can see it's still to stick on size my hand like this, because that's the fabric available for me. So I just have to manage it, and I will not be hemming the edge, because if I hem it, it's going to be reducing like this. So we are done cutting. Let me show us the whole fabric together.